Hello, this is Marcus from EV Journey, and today we have a very special episode. Yes, that's right, we're going to race a Renault Capture petrol plug-in against a fully electric Volkswagen ID.3. Here they are here. So you may be thinking about buying a fully electric vehicle, or you may be thinking about buying a hybrid plug-in. Now this is going to be a 360 kilometer motorway test. Yeah, that's 225 miles. That's more than the distance between London and Manchester or Lisbon and Porto. We're going to see which is the quickest and which is the cheapest. This will help you decide which is better for you, a plug-in hybrid or a fully electric vehicle. Now the cars are quite similar, so let's go and have a look at them. The first question you're going to ask is about the price. So this is the Volkswagen ID.3. Now this is the 58 kilowatt hour battery version. That's the medium battery. You can get this with a 45 kilowatt hour battery, gives you less range, or with a 77 kilowatt hour battery, but this is the 58 kilowatt hour version. Now this here is the Renault Capture. Now this is a plug-in hybrid. You put petrol in here like you would a normal petrol car, and on the other side you put in electricity via an electric cable. The Renault Capture on the right, that has a WLTP electric only range of 50 kilometers, where the Volkswagen ID.3 fully electric, the 58 kilowatt version, has a WLTP of 426 kilometers in this version. Now what's the price? So I purchased this car 2 years ago and the price was 38,000 euros. Now the cheapest version of this Capture hybrid is currently 36,000 euros. You say, oh, that's only a difference of 2,000 euros. That's not true, because if you're going to buy these cars brand new today in Portugal, the Volkswagen ID.3, the cheapest version of the 58 kilowatt hour battery, is 44,000. So now the difference is a massive 8,000 euros, which is a big difference. But keep checking the prices in your country and where you are, just see where they're different. Later today we're going to do the race, but I just want to show you a few more things about both of these cars. So the ID.3 is slightly wider and slightly longer, and the Capture is slightly higher. Inside they're a bit different. Let's have a look. The ID.3 has a lot of space inside, and it's a very minimalistic view. Lots of space at the front. And at the back, there's a lot of legroom for the passengers. Because it's fully electric, it's possible to have a lot of legroom inside the car and a lot of space. And the boot is not too small. The boot size in this car is 385 litres. Has a more traditional look inside with a bigger centre console. Perhaps the plastics and the buttons are slightly better quality in the Renault Capture than the ID.3, but it has a less minimalistic view. It's a more traditional view. In the back seats, there's quite a lot of legroom for the adults or children, but not as big as the ID.3, and we do have air conditioning at the back as well, so that's good, and the ID.3 doesn't. The problem with the plug-in of the Renault Capture is the boot is really small. You've got a bit of space here, but the boot is really small because basically the batteries are there and they take up a huge amount of room. The boot on this car is only 261 litres versus the 385 litres of the ID.3. Just to let you know, with the Renault Capture, the cheapest full petrol version without hybrid and without plug-in is 23,000 euros. That is 13,000 euros cheaper than this plug-in version, but obviously it just uses petrol. And the boot size in the Renault Capture pure petrol version is 404 litres, so that's bigger than the boot size in the ID.3. And we're one of the only channels doing a full 360 kilometer motorway race with a plug-in hybrid and a full electric vehicle. So please remember to click subscribe. Next, we will do the race in both of these cars. So what we're going to do, so we're in the town of Moita, just south of Lisbon, and the motorway is about 500 meters over there. We are going to go south, always on the motorway, to Almodóvar. Then we're going to turn around and come all the way back. Now this is a race, but we can't break the speed limits. The maximum speed allowed today in Portugal is 120 kilometers an hour. That's about 75 miles per hour, I believe. If you are confused and don't know if you should get an electric vehicle or a plug-in vehicle, you go to Facebook or Twitter or whatever other social cesspit that you enjoy using. And what you find is people who are fans of plug-ins, who will say bad things against electric vehicles, and on the other side you'll find people who own electric vehicles like I do, who will say bad things about plug-in vehicles. So this is going to be fact-based. It's going to show you on a fact-based basis, on a long-range trip, which is better for you, a plug-in, hybrid, or a fully electric vehicle. And there's many caveats with plug-ins that people don't understand. I honestly believe electric vehicle is better for a wider audience than a plug-in, but we will go into that later. So we're in the Renault Capture and we're just about to start the race. So here is the Renault Capture, and this is the modes that we've got. So we've got pure modes. So we've got the pure mode, which will mean we only use electricity. We've got the sports mode, which means we can go quicker, and we've got my sense mode. So my sense will automatically use electric or petrol, deciding on what the car thinks, and that's the mode we're going to be using because it's going to be mainly motorway. Now just to let you know, we've got a full tank of petrol, and this car has got a 39 litre tank of petrol, and it's saying we've got a current range of 46 kilometers of pure electric. Before we start, I just want to explain the mode we're going to use in this ID.3. So we've got sports mode here. That's if you want to go quick acceleration. That's the quickest mode. Now comfort, you can go to the top speed, you go fairly quick, and it gives you the best air conditioning option. Eco limits the acceleration, only allows you to do 130 kilometers an hour, and it saves a bit of energy, and the air conditioning is not so strong. So for this test, we're going to be eco mode. It's perfectly fine for the motorway. So just to let you know, the car is at currently 99% of the battery. It's 5:05, let's go. It's currently 5:05, let's go. The Renault Capture's just leaving as well at the moment, so we're neck and neck. Here we go. We're going on the motorway, neck and neck with the Capture. And let's go up to a nice 120 kilometers an hour. So we're just coming on to the motorway. As you can see here, currently the car's deciding to put energy from the electric motor into the wheels. Interesting, currently we're putting power from the engine into the battery and also from the wheels into the battery. Now we're using the engine, which is putting power into the wheels, and also the battery is putting power into the wheels. This is simple. And now the petrol engine is putting power into the wheels and into the battery, as you can see there. And just to let you know, the air conditioning is set to 22 degrees Celsius, and it's currently 29 degrees Celsius outside. And so we've done 12.8 kilometers, which is quite interesting, and we've only used 0.8 litres per 100 kilometers of petrol, so not too much petrol there. And the electric consumption is 19.2 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. One thing that's interesting is that the range currently of pure electric, it's saying it's 32 kilometers, and we're keeping to 120 kilometers an hour. And we can see the ID.3 because we're level. What I'm going to do on this trip, just so that you know, I'm going to tell you the price of the chargers at every service station we pass. And it's important for you to know this because the prices along this road in each charging station can be very different. So currently we're coming past our first charging station in Palmela. You can see it there. Now this only has a 50 kilowatt charger, and this 50 kilowatt charger is 40 cents per kilowatt hour. What you can do in this car if you use GPS, and we've just put in the GPS position, is that with my sense it will use eNav. So now we've put in the destination, then we'll come back. So my sense actually knows our destination now, so it'll be making better use of the petrol and the electric to get the most efficiency out of this plug-in hybrid. Look at that, we're being overtaken by Porsche Taycan 4S. Oh, that looks good in white. For the win. In the Capture, you've also got another way to show you energy usage. So as you can see here, we've got about half of the battery left, and it's showing the energy going from the petrol motor into the wheels currently. Something very interesting here I've just noticed. This tells us the distance travelled in electric mode. So far that's been 18.2 kilometres. Shows us the average fuel consumption, the average electric consumption. Total distance so far has been 51 kilometres. The average speed has been 102 kilometers an hour. We've been trying to keep to 120 kilometers an hour. And the total amount of energy we've recuperated has been 0.3 kilowatt hours. It is exactly 5:35 and we're coming up to the Alcázar do Sal services. We are just coming up to the services in Alcázar do Sal and it is 5:35. We are literally neck and neck with the Renault Capture. We have done 54 kilometers. Our average consumption has been 18.4 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers and our average speed has been 107 kilometers an hour. Now, is that a white Taycan? That looks like a white Taycan for the win. Now, perhaps they were charging there. Now, just to let you know, at that service station, they've got two chargers, a 160 kilowatt charger and a 50 kilowatt charger. The 50 kilowatt charger is 40 cents per kilowatt hour and the 160 kilowatt charger is 43 cents per kilowatt hour. And everything's going well so far, but unfortunately we're not beating the Renault Capture yet. I was behind it for a bit and the amount of fumes it was pumping in front of me, incredible. So that thing is definitely polluting well and is definitely running on petrol engine. So we're currently using 3.6 litres per 100 kilometres and that's good. So it means we're pumping in lots of CO2 so these trees can have CO2 to breathe. So we're just coming up to the Grandula services and it is currently 5:56. We've done 94.8 kilometers, so we've used 4.3 litres per 100 kilometers of petrol and 15.3 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers of electricity, and we've got a full electric range left of 6 kilometers. We are coming up to the Grandula services and it is 5:57. We don't have to stop here because we have got 65% of the battery available. Let's have a look at the other data. We've done 96 kilometers. Our average speed has been 111 kilometers an hour and it is currently 18.4 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which is quite good. Here at this service station they've got a 90 kilowatt charger and they've got a 160 kilowatt charger. The 90 kilowatt charger costs 43 cents per kilowatt hour and the 160 kilowatt charger costs a massive 47 cents per kilowatt hour. Now I want to talk to you about charging strategy. You can drive long distances in an electric vehicle. In this car I drove from Lisbon to Madrid and from Madrid to Lisbon in the same day. That's almost 1,200 kilometers in the same day in this car. Now I'm going to tell you on this trip, if things go to plan, I'm going to make 2 charging stops. I could do this with 1 charging stop. We could go all the way to Almodóvar. I can charge at the service station there to 90% and come all the way back to the starting position again. Why am I not going to do that? Because that charging stop will take 35 minutes because of something called the charging curve. So when the battery is low, for example at 20%, I can pull a full 100 kilowatts. But as we start increasing the battery, the charging speed starts to go slower. This is the same for all electric vehicles. So by the time I get to 80%, I'm only charging at 50 kilowatts. How do you make your charging session quicker? What I'm going to do at the next stop, I'm going to charge. And I think I'm going to add probably 30%. I'm going to come round, drive up, and we're then going to charge at this Grandula charging station here, and then that will give us enough charge to get home. So hopefully the first stop I plan to charge for around 10 minutes, the second stop for around 14 minutes. 10 minutes plus 14 minutes is 24 minutes, and that's much quicker than the one stop of 35 minutes. So we're just coming up to Aljustrel services and we're in Renault Capture. So currently it's 6:15 and we have done exactly 130 kilometers and our consumption of petrol has been 4.7 litres per 100 kilometers and we have done 14.2. We have got 4 kilometers of range left on full electric and the average speed has been 109.9 kilometers. So it's exactly 6:15 and we're still neck and neck with the Renault Capture. But this won't last for long because we're going to charge here. The car's at 53% and I want to get the car to 70%. Hopefully this shouldn't take longer than 10 minutes. The chargers seem empty, which is great. We've got a 50 kilowatt charger over there, and here we've got 160 kilowatt charger and a 50 kilowatt charger, I think. 6:16 now. Let's see how long this is going to take to charge after reversing to it. Charging time was exactly 11 minutes, so that was enough time for me to go to the toilet and get a cheeky ice cream. Currently it is 31 minutes past 6 o'clock. The Capture must be in front of us, but we'll continue on the journey. Actually, stopping for 11 minutes is a good thing. It's nice, it's relaxing. Like up to 120 kilometers an hour, and I'm sure we won't catch up with the Renault Capture unless it breaks down. The price of that charging station there, just to let you know, so it was 40 cents for the 50 kilowatt charger and it was 43 cents for the 160 kilowatt charger. We went to the 160 kilowatt charger. And the ID.3 is currently behind us. They must be charging, so we've definitely won this. We're definitely going to win this. We're just 2 kilometers from the Almodovar services. It's currently 6:37 and we have used 5 litres per 100 kilometres, so the petrol consumption is going up. We've used 13.9 kilowatt hours per 100. We've done 173 kilometres and the average speed is 111 kilometres an hour, and our current electric range is currently 0. Now we're going to have to stop here because my bladder won't allow us to go any further, but we're going to do this as quickly as possible. And we're coming off now and it's 6:38, so we're going to stop. I'm going to be very quick. I'm going to go in there, wash my hands, come out and come back in.
Don't wash your hands.
No, I'm going to wash my hands. So that was quick. We're just leaving. It's 6:43, so that was a quick stop and we're back on the motorway. Now we're going to turn around and go back, and then we're going to come back on the motorway. It's currently 6:44. So we've done 177 kilometres and we're going through the toll road. So let's see how much this is going to cost us. €16.10. It's a rip-off. So now we're going to turn around here at this roundabout and go back. So we're still well ahead of the ID.3 and this is the Almodovar services. It's 6:47. There's no way you can catch us up now because there won't be any more pit stops. Now we've got about 180 kilometres to go back to the starting point. We're coming up to the service station of Almodovar. It is currently 6:54 and we have done a massive 176 kilometers. Our average speed has been 110 kilometers an hour and our average consumption has not been bad at 18.8 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, and our battery percentage at the moment is currently 52%. At this service station, they've got 350 kilowatt chargers. How quick is that? Amazing. But the problem is, these chargers cost 83 cents per kilowatt hour, which is almost the double of every other charger we've been past today. Yeah, so they're expensive, but they're extremely fast. And now we're going to turn off and go back round and go back north, because currently we're going south. So we're going through the toll road now, and how much is this going to cost us? €16.10. What a rip-off. So here at the roundabout we just go round and we go back on the motorway to pay another €16.10 on the way back to the start. Where are these cars coming from? Right, so we're back on the motorway heading north and we're going to try to get to 120 kilometers an hour. And here we are, 120 kilometers an hour, and there again is the Almodovar services. Now all the charging stations, they're repeated on both sides of the motorway. So you've got on this side and that side of the motorway, and all of them all the way along. And currently the battery's at 50%. It's currently 1 minute to 7 o'clock, so more or less 7 o'clock, and the dirty petrol plug-in Capture is in front of us, as we know. In the Capture, and we're just coming up to the Algestral services again. It's currently 10 minutes past 7. We're doing 5.3 litres per 100 kilometres. We've done 224 kilometres, and on electric we've done 13.3 kilowatt hours per 100. The average speed has been 109 kilometers an hour. It is 7:22 and we're at the Algestrel services. The car currently has 33% of the battery. We have done 228 kilometers and the average speed has been 110 kilometers an hour, and our consumption has been 18.6 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. So we're just coming up to the granular service again in the Renault Capture. So 5 litres per 100 kilometers, 13.3 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, and 259 kilometers. And we're definitely beating the ID.3, that's for sure. Average speed 110 kilometers an hour, and it's currently 7:29. Again, we're coming up to the granular services, and it is 7:41. But we don't have enough battery to get home, so we're going to charge here. We've only got 18% of the battery. I think there's a charger available. Yes, I think it's available. Hopefully these cars in front are not electric cars that need to charge. So I think we're going to charge up to about 50%, and then we should have enough to get back to the start position. Yeah, they are, two available. So we're going to go on the quickest charger, because one is 90 kilowatt and one is 100 kilowatt. Let's see if we can put in 100 kilowatts. And we're at 18%. I just wanted to show you this. As you can see, we're pulling 93 kilowatts, 18%, 32% in 4 minutes. Was pulling a minute ago 100 kilowatts, but now it's slowing down a bit. So we're just coming up to the services in Alcácer do Sal, and it's currently 10 minutes to 8 o'clock. We've travelled 301 kilometres. The consumption's gone up a bit of the petrol, 5.5 litres per 100 kilometres, 12.8 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometres. We've used 18.9 kilometres of pure electric, and average speed is almost 111 kilometres an hour. And so far we've generated 0.7 kilowatt hours of electricity. We charged up to 56%. That took exactly 14 minutes. I charged a little bit further than 50% because we may have a bit of a headwind when we go back, so better be safe than sorry. It's currently 1 minute to 8 o'clock. So let's see how long the next part of the journey is going to take us then. So we're just coming off the motorway now in the Renault Capture, and it's 8:19. So let's see what time it is when we're back to our starting position. And we are definitely in front of the Volkswagen ID.3, but we don't know how much in front we are. What will the time difference be? We will see. So it is currently 21 minutes past 8 o'clock, and we're just coming up to the Alcácer do Sal services. We've done 307 kilometres. The average speed has been 110 kilometres an hour, and our average consumption is 19.0 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometres. And we've got 38% left, so that should be more than enough for us to get back, because I think we've got about 50 kilometres to go. Just up to this roundabout, we turn left and we will be at the starting position. What time is it? It's 8:21 now. 8:21, what time will we arrive? So that's it, we're going round to our starting position. That's it, 8:21. We've arrived in the Renault Capture at 8:21. We'll look at the stats and we'll see. So that means it's taken us 3 hours and 16 minutes to get here. Now we just have to wait for the Volkswagen ID.3 to see how much longer that's going to take to get here. We will see. So let's look at the stats, shall we? So according to this, in electric mode, we've travelled 19.8 kilometres. The average fuel consumption has been 5.5 litres per 100 kilometres in this plug-in. Now I did another test before in a Citroën Cactus, which was a pure petrol vehicle, against my ID.3 on the motorway. I will leave the link below, but in that test the Cactus got 6.1 litres per 100 kilometres. This car here has done a bit better by 0.6 litres per 100 kilometres. According to this, in electricity it's been 11.6 kilowatt hours per 100. We have done exactly 356 kilometres, almost 355.8. The average speed has been 109 kilometers an hour, even though we tried to keep to 120 kilometers an hour. Energy that we've recuperated has been 1.2 kilowatt hours. And the range left on this car is 0, but as you can see there, we've still got some battery bars. So when we restart the car, we'll have some battery bars. And there, the petrol is about half. So as expected, the dirty petrol plug-in Capture has already arrived. The owner of the car just phoned me, and they arrived at 21 minutes past 8 o'clock. It's currently 25 minutes past 8 o'clock here, and we've still got quite a lot of kilometers to go. So obviously we're going to be slow. We can't win this race. But what will be interesting will be if we're cheaper. We're just coming off the motorway now, back to the start position. It's currently 8:50, so 10 minutes to 9. The Capture's no longer there. I think they've gone and refueled it. 8:52, so I'm going to call it 8:52. We've arrived at 8:52. The battery is at 17%. So yes, in the electric vehicle, it has taken us 3 hours and 47 minutes, and in the petrol plug-in it took 3 hours and 16 minutes. So it was actually 31 minutes slower in this car. I thought it would be a bit less than that. So 31 minutes slower. So it's up to you to decide if the time difference over 362 kilometers is acceptable. We've done 362 kilometers, 108 kilometers an hour at the average speed, 18.9 kilowatt hours per 100, and the battery is currently at 17%. So we probably could have charged to 50% instead of 56%, and would have been a bit quicker, probably an extra 2, 3, 4 minutes. Let us have a look at pricing then. Let's start with the ID.3. At home, I added 47.56 kilowatt hours, which comes to €8.56. Now this is 18 cents per kilowatt hour. Our first charge came to a massive €3.97, and our second charge came to €9.74. In total, that was €22.27 for the whole trip. Now, with the Renault Capture, at home we added 9.31 kilowatt hours, again at 18 cents per kilowatt hour, and that came to a massive €1.68. Then we added just over 20 litres of petrol, which came to an absolutely astonishing, massive €37.93, giving us a total cost of €39.61. So basically, the electric vehicle is around 17 or 18 euros cheaper. It's about half the price. So what's more important to you? The 30 minutes time difference or almost half the price of fuel costs? I want to talk about the plug-in hybrid. So the owner of the Capture, he lives in Paris and he drives 23 kilometers to work. That takes him about 45 minutes. And in the evening, he drives 23 kilometers back home, which takes him 1.5 hours. So as you can see, obviously it's Paris. That is a really, really slow speed to do just 50 kilometers. He says in the summer he can do that on full electricity. So just under 50 kilometers, in old money 30 miles. In the summer you can do that on electricity. He says in the winter he gets around 35 kilometers, so he has to use some petrol in the winter months. Now he's lucky because he can charge at home. Now if you plan to get a plug-in hybrid and you can't charge at home, don't get one, because on a public charger it will take 3.5 hours to charge that plug-in hybrid, and 3.5 hours every day to do 50 kilometers is a big ask. Obviously if you charge at home you normally sleep for 8 hours, so you can charge it overnight. If you don't have a home charger, don't get a plug-in hybrid. But should you get an electric vehicle if you don't have a home charger? Well, in the ID.3 it can do about 400 kilometers in city traffic. So that means you will probably have to charge once a week. Now the ID.3 on a rapid charger will only take 30 minutes to charge. So with the ID.3 you can charge it for 30 minutes and then you'll have enough energy for the whole week. Whereas in the plug-in hybrid you have to charge it for 3.5 hours every day. That's why an EV may work for you if you don't have home charging, and a plug-in hybrid definitely won't work for you. Another interesting point, as we saw in the race, is that we got less than 20 kilometers. That's less than 12 miles in old money at motorway speed. So we were driving at 120 kilometers an hour, or around 74 miles per hour. Now that is really low, 20 kilometers. So we've got almost a 10 kilowatt hour battery, and it's only given us 20 kilometers at motorway speed. Whereas in the ID.3 we've got around 60 kilowatt hour battery, and that will get us at motorway speed 275 kilometers. So the battery in the ID.3 is only 6 times bigger, but it's given us something like 14 times more range than the Capture. So it just goes to show that the electric drivetrain in the Capture is not very good. The ID.3 is much more efficient. Another point you have to consider when getting the plug-in hybrid is it is very expensive. The pure petrol version of the Capture comes in at a massive 13,000 euros cheaper, and with the petrol version of the Capture you actually get a bigger boot. And at motorway speed I was very disappointed with the consumption figures of the Capture. We got 5.5 litres per 100 kilometers. In my Citroen Cactus, which was pure petrol, I got 6.1 litres per 100 kilometers. I was getting just a half a litre better per 100 kilometers in the plug-in Capture. That's not very good at all, is it? So the only reason a plug-in Capture is going to work for you is if you do slow city traffic every day and you can charge at home. If you want to go on long trips, or if you don't have home charging, if you can afford it, definitely get an electric vehicle. But if you currently can't afford an electric vehicle, and I don't think the plug-in is going to work for you unless every day you do slow city trips, if you do longer trips every day, it's definitely not going to work for you, a plug-in hybrid. I would say if you can't afford a fully electric vehicle, then just get a pure petrol. Save your money, and when the prices of electric vehicles come down, then get one. I think the plug-in hybrid is only suitable for a very small percentage of people, including my friend who owns it, who does 50 kilometers per day in Paris. That's fine. He's just, and he has home charging. So for him it's good. Let's just talk about this 31 minutes difference. So it was obviously slower in my ID.3 by 31 minutes. I think I could have probably got it down to 25 minutes if I'd have taken different charging stops, but I think it's realistic because chargers are not always in the best locations when you go on a trip, so I think it's more realistic. Now there are other electric vehicles apart from the ID.3 which have better range, and some of them are a bit more efficient. There's obviously electric vehicles that are worse than the ID.3 with less range and less efficiency. It's quite an efficient EV, which is good. It's got a medium charging speed, but there are other vehicles which are a bit more efficient and have an even higher charging speed. So something like the Tesla Model 3 would have done this trip quicker, which is a bit more expensive obviously, and if you get even more expensive EVs, they will do that even quicker as well. So that's something to consider when buying an EV. You need a good battery with a good range, but you need an efficient car as well, and with a reasonable charging speed. The ID.3 is pretty good on those fronts. If you know a friend or family member who is thinking about buying a plug-in hybrid, please share this video with them. I think it's an eye-opener and it's really important. Please remember to click subscribe, and thank you for watching. Bye.